He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Come on, do it. Do it now. Talk about every minute of Batman and Robin 1 minute at a time. Oh, all right, Arnie, all right, we will. Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to Bat Minutes and Robin. This is the podcast where you just heard the man say we talk about Batman and Robin 1 minute at a time. I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
And here to let you know that it's going to be a beautiful day because you've got me in your ears. It is your other host, John Parker.
Yeah.
Don't put me too far down your ear, though. It can cause damage.
Maybe you just keep pushing, though. And it might just reverse itself somehow, or just get even better. You know what to say.
Well, once you've damaged the ear, you should probably, why not try that?
Yeah, no pain.
What's the worst that
no
can
gain.
happen?
You know, that's
Yeah.
the way it works. But on this beautiful day, we're joined by a beautiful guest. We have returning man all the way from Elementary, my dears, and the Mogwai Minutes. It is George Hendricks.
Hey, I'm just going to sit here with a stupid grin on my face because I didn't get any lines in this minute.
Yeah, that actually, there's not a lot of dialogue. Is there? Is there one line at the end?
Well, we got some classic, the recording of Ivy. As I told Lady Freeze when I pulled her plug.
Yeah, I didn't count that because we've seen that.
Well, speaking of that, though, we should just say, of course, we're talking about minute 114, which opens with a slush-soaked squad card, and it ends a minute later with a confession of lies, deceptions.
Right.
Audacity.
Now I need him to play Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. I think Forrest is going for such big swings these days. Mr. Freeze would be like that'd be dialing it down for him after Saw Gerrera and Black Panther and stuff like that. Forrest is all about he would be doing an Arnie if he did Mr. Freeze nowadays.
Yeah, he would definitely be an over-the-top choice.
Yeah.
I've got to see it. I mean, nothing will
I think
ever
we're
be
too much cinema verite Batman at the moment to have such a large selection.
Although, to be fair, though, it will be released by the time this episode airs, but the clips of Colin Farrell is, "Oh, take it easy, sweetheart," and all this from the Batman.
True, but that's Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
That's just him as is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forrest is another level of crazy to me.
Yeah.
No one will ever top, Paul Gullet will know
Got that
the
crazy
truth.
guy.
But then we do ask, though, George, up front, because obviously Batman Robin, very divisive movie. We like to kind of gauge where the guests are coming at it from. So, what do you make of this film with its reputation?
Well, I have a confession to make. I was 2/3 of the way through a riff track-esque roast of this movie at MXM Denver in 2017 when I realized I had never seen this movie.
Well, clearly, you've rectified that several times over now.
You know what? I have not. So I still have not seen this movie. I started with Batman. I mean, I was the Batman, Adam West, Batman 89, all that. I watched all the Batmans, but for some reason, and where this one fell in my developmental timeline, I was like, I'm good. And I never went and saw this movie in the theater, and I've never watched it on any sort of streaming platform. I don't have a VHS of this. I don't have any sort of physical media relating to this movie. I have never seen this movie in its entirety. And you didn't even see it in the Riff Tracks thing because it was just doing chunks of it.
Oh, so you didn't sit and do the whole thing? Oh.
No, we just did maybe half an hour of selected bits of it where we just kind of making fun of it.
Oh my God. So I feel now we've kind of spoiled the end that Mr. Freeze gets defeated.
Oh no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
You thought Freeze was victorious, didn't you?
I did. I thought he won.
Yeah, his name is Victor Freeze.
It's another. That's how we got the Ice Age movies. Was he won in this Batman movie? And all the Ice Age movies are actually set in the future.
Oh, headcanon. Someone add this to the Batman wiki.
That's why all the animals talk, is because they're de-evolved for humans into other species.
Oh my God, we've cracked it!
And all that evolution, it all began with the box.
Deborah, It's like Ray Romano. He lives forever. He's an android. It's fine.
But yeah, so we jump in here, beginning of the minute. We get that cop like finishes getting out of a car.
Yeah, this one was just a lot of reaction shots.
That's most of the film.
I'm really kind of disappointed though. That guy is not like that. Could have been your goodbye to Pat Hingle there, because he had his very undignified exit from the entire franchise earlier with oh please come back to Poison Ivy. I was like, give the guy a bit of dignity, would you? But like no. But I guess him getting out of a slush soaked car probably wouldn't be any better, really. But it might give a little more like, let's remember him not as a doddering, sleazy
simp.
Simp perving on Uma Thurman.
Such a simp.
No, I'm with you. It would have been quite nice just to at least have not necessarily a heroic shot of him, but something competent.
And this cop is, I don't know what is. He just looks like he's been out of it altogether anyway. Like, he kind of comes out. He's doing that kind of thing where it looks like he's going to try to like start getting water out of his ears. He's going to tilt the head to the side there and stuff. And
hey, let me tell you.
And also, what's up with the mailbox like writing itself as everything thaws out? Like, why was it at an angle?
Oh, it's a windy day, Like,
I guess, but it just goes chunk as it's like, oh no, now it was like everything was going back into place in reverse, like when Superman flew back around the Earth.
That's the vibe I got. I was hoping you were going to tell me, oh yeah, that's what American mailboxes do. That's just that's a feature.
They often pop up on two legs for no reason.
Yeah,
it's very Harry Potter-esque.
That's how I picture all of your cities. Yeah, Harry Potter.
I wouldn't actually be surprised if they shot that in reverse. So it does have a kind of like a weirdness to it, where you're like, it doesn't look quite right. That like it's a bit off,
and it wouldn't be the first time they've done it in this film.
Yeah, they did the old just reversing, like playing footage forwards and then immediately reversing it and hoping you didn't notice earlier. Where it's like, every 8-year-old kids would have recognized that. Like,
oh, that's a reverse shot. Yeah, that's a reverse shot. Sips on juice box.
Hey, we were cool kids, Niall. Clearly.
Also, those hot dogs have got to be cold at this point. I would not pay for a frozen hot dog.
I have a feeling like you see that guy, he's kind of like ripping the money out of that one dude's hand as if he's just like, hey, no take back speech. Come on.
He's just idly swiping the frost off of his cart like, oh yeah, this is just another day in Gotham.
I suppose at this point it is. It's like, another villain has done some dastardly deed.
Well, yeah.
First we had to get our brains scrambled by Jim Carrey. Now this. Ra's al Ghul's going to show up in 20 years or so.
And nobody will bat an eye.
I do I kind of like the vibe. That's particularly, once the dog defrosts and then goes away, the two people in the background they kind of have this awkward moment of like, oh, that was weird, and this is awkward now.
What do we do now?
See ya. Just kind of walking away.
Tell you what,
is the dog a featured player that I missed somehow? Because it got a lot of screen time.
Yeah, the dog did get a big. Annoyingly, it got a big close up because it was lifting its leg to pee on the hydrant, and then when you come back, you never see the completion of that pee.
Now, if the dog defrosted, did his pee defrost as well?
That's interesting. And
they should have walked away with like a little stick stream of urine.
Unless he actually did pee while frozen and it like partially melted him because he was like, well,
that can't be good for your urethra.
Oh, the damage it's doing.
Oh yeah. You think a kidney stone is bad?
Oh,
try peeing a stream of ice.
Oh no, that's twisted. That's evil. The poor dog. I was so happy to see the dog was alive, though. I don't care about the people.
Mm-mm.
I just want to see the dog, and the dog is fine. Go, doggo, go. Shake it.
I do notice there behind. I guess it's a little. Well, it's not really cheeky, is it? Because I guess you do get it in most like city centers and stuff. So yeah, that guy flogging the hot dog. Seems it says. I was trying to make out what it says on it. It looks like it's Gotham and something ending with Ove. And I was like,
Gotham love.
Goth dogs.
Goth dogs? I mean, that would be better.
No.
But like, I thought
that would be better.
I thought it would have been like Gotham Stove. I was like, it's not really a stove, though, is it? Like, it's just a hot dog.
Yeah, I actually thought it said Gotham Stove, but that doesn't make sense to me. Unless, is this an American thing again? Do you call that stove?
No.
Okay.
I just call that a hot dog cart.
Yeah. But I noticed in the background there, they got the lingering ghost of Taco Bell is looming there behind. Like, not getting you don't see people like Taco Bell grabbing money out of people's hands to try to get like, oh, it doesn't matter if you got a half frozen burrito or whatever.
Are you defending the corporations, Niall?
That's what I'm saying. They might have wanted to put that in there, and the corporations went like, we don't want to.
No, I think that just means that even in a situation like this, no one's going to loot a Taco Bell.
Hey, from our experiences of the one that's opened here now, finally, yeah, I'm not looting a Taco Bell. I don't care.
Think of the Taco Bell's legacy with Batman, because I know you. Like, do you recall any of the tie-ins when this came out, George? Because they had Taco Bell's they were the McDonald's for this movie. Because
this is the whole like him driving up to the drive-thru in the Batmobile.
I think in the original,
I think there was a commercial. There was a commercial of him driving up to the drive-thru in the Batmobile for Taco Bell late night, because he's a night creature, and Taco Bell's like fourth meal. That's right.
See, I thought it might have been like one of the ones for like. For McDonald's or something though, because I know in '89 they had Taco Bell did have a cup tie-in, and they also had a cup tie-in with this movie as well. But then in the interim, obviously you had your returns with their now infamous encounters with McDonald's, and then Batman Returns there, and then of course the classic glass Batman Forever mugs that McDonald's would give away, that's still coveted to this day. But then so Taco Bell had their tie-in. Also, I saw someone posted in the listeners' cave the other day. I think it was Simon Hayes. They call them Pop-Tarts. Had a Batman and Robin tie-in where the bat signal's not working, and so some kid comes, I got this sorted, and then bites a Taco Bell into the shape of the bat signal and holds it up to a torch, and then that causes a bat signal. Let me tell you, as someone who's tried to make my own bat signal many times, none of that.
Tacos don't work. They're not a good medium for that.
No, Pop-Tarts don't work. Even like
now,
cardboard.
I have a
work.
question as a dumb American. Y'all have like fourth meal. I mean, 11Z's, breakfast, second, whatever. How many different meals you have today? Do you have a fourth meal concept, or is that just like we're in bed? Why do we want Taco Bell at 3 a.m?
Well, I mean, these days there's only really the 3 meals. The normal. Although there's an argument about what you call the one, in the middle of the day. Yeah. There's a big people in the South call it something different to people in the North. It can be dinner or it can be lunch. Things get flipped. But we did used to have, I don't know, people used to have supper.
Yeah, I remember growing up with supper, but it's not really a thing anymore. It seems to have been just discounted altogether.
That'd be like a snack at like, I don't know, what do you reckon, like 9?
Yeah, I mean like a bowl of cornflakes or something. It's like, yeah, that's your supper. Then you're going... But then I know, like back in the old cowboy days, a supper would have been just like that was what they would have called dinner, I guess, because it's like
Well, I grew up with supper because that's a Southern thing.
And is that just dinner, or is that an entire?
Yeah, that's just dinner. It's just your evening meal is supper, pretty much in the South, and then dinner almost everywhere else.
Okay. Because here it would be you have it after your dinner. It's kind of like just like a snacky thing, like it's just a little bite.
Yeah. Although with we are now, of course, George, living in the build-up to The Batman getting released, and we just saw this week Little Caesars have brought out their.
Oh, I've seen the Bat Pizza.
Is it a pizza or is it a calzone, or is it two things meshed together?
It looks like a pizza that's shaped like a bat.
Yeah, that was my question, because they call it a calzone. Which
is weird because a calzone is closed. A pizza is open faced. So that the fact that you can see pepperoni on the top of it says it's a pizza.
That's what confused me. I was lost. But when I looked at it, I think what they've done, which is insane, is they've made a calzone and then put toppings on top of that as well. I think you're getting like double the topic, which sounds great in theory, but it's like, well, it's just a pizza then. It's a fat pizza.
They might have just done it that way because it's like, well, if we just cut a pizza into a bat shape, people would complain that they're getting less pizza because we have to cut bits off it. But if we do a calzone, it kind of gives the impression that there's just like there's more there than there actually is or something.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I would give it a go for the podcast, but I just can't just have like a normal pizza or a normal calzone.
And then if you want for your supper some evening, George, you get your sample because I think it's Little Caesars, so we don't get that over here. So
I honestly don't even know where Little Caesars is in Denver.
Oh.
Like I've seen a couple of Domino's here. There's a Papa John's here and there, but as far as like mainstream chain pizzas, that's not a huge thing around here.
Wow. Is it meant to be good? Are we missing out?
Oh no, it's absolutely I think as far as like the whole like hierarchy of takeout pizza goes, Little Caesars is way down near the bottom.
Oh, okay. See, I used to like, when we eventually got it here, Papa John's. But then I found all that stuff out about the owner. So it's like, I'm not
Papa
going.
John's is serviceable, but then like their CEO is an ass. So
Yeah. I can't justify it to myself.
yeah, we avoid that. Papa John's, little Chick-fil-A, Bullet Bourbon. These are the kind of things we have to avoid because of problematic.
Oh, no,
owners.
don't say Bullet. I love Bullet. No.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's true. It's owners of
Gotta take,
child molesting
No!
pedophile.
take it outside and put a bullet in Bullet, I guess now.
Oh.
Yep. It's unfortunate. And it was his daughter too, so that's even worse.
Oof.
Yeah, he's a real garbage
no.
fire.
Does he still own it? Does he still make money?
I believe so. Yeah, he still makes money off of it.
Let me know, listeners, when he loses his business so I can buy it.
Yeah, and it goes to somebody else so you can start drinking it again. I miss it. That was like my utility bourbon, and I'm like, I have to find something else instead. Luckily, I live in a state that is just eat up with local bourbon, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's not the case here.
Yeah, you're like, pickings are pretty scarce over here.
I did.
I just wait for Woodford Reserve to go on sale all the time. I'm like, right, quick, buy it
Yeah,
before it comes off sale.
Stock up.
You can walk past the
As far as I know, Woodford's fine.
Hey.
There's no issues with Woodford, but Bullet's, not great.
Just goes up that perpetual walking past the shelves, just checking the prices. Like, oh, we'll see next week. We'll see.
Yep. Check back when you drop $10 or 10 pounds or whatever.
The Bat Minute effect will happen as well. I'll go into the shop and Bullet will just have plummeted in price. People will
There you
have
go.
heard.
And I was like, God, now it's even more attractive because it's so cheap.
Although I actually paid double yesterday for those The Batman Oreos because I've done that thing of like, it only comes in the multi-pack.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't even really like Oreos. But I was like,
What?
I don't mind them.
Yeah, Oreos are great.
I don't mind them, but they're just not my biscuit of choice. They're very, like, I find them quite hard on the teeth. Like, they're so sugary that they're like, oh, it's kind of almost painful to eat these.
Why are you so weak?
He has weak Irish teeth.
I'm like Michael Scott's, like dipping my food in my wine, so I can soften it every time. But I'd say you do, of course, get on the front of it an image of the Batman. And my favorite part was that they have little biscuit lips for him. So you look
It's all about the pout.
yeah, I think they're almost like, if this works, we can do this again for Keaton, because everyone remembers those lips. Like Robert Pattinson's lips, they're like whatever, you know. But like the Keaton pout is back, baby. So
That's the thing. People might think, our Pats is a sexy guy, but he hasn't got them lips.
yeah. So there's a whole big thing though in the making of book about like, the actual effects of how they froze people and stuff, and like
They just froze them.
They're like, well, the actual, the digitally insert these effects and stuff. And once again, it's one of these things of like, they always make it sound like this was a big production to do in terms of like, oh, it's so much effort put in to do this one thing. And it always just looks like, are you sure you didn't just, like, it looks very sort of hokey though, because everyone getting defrosted, it literally just looks like they were stood there and then they put a light over them and went like, all right, now you can move. It was just like
okay, now, but also this is Joel Schumacher. He's not known for his grasp of cinema verite.
Hey, you did.
No one in Gotham is going to worry about frostbite after being frozen for 45
Look at
minutes.
what he did to Tigerland. The guy, he knows how to get in the poop, as it were. You can.
I saw a phone booth.
Yeah. Oh, you can see a phone booth in this minute actually as well.
Yeah.
Young baby Colin Farrell there, like, it's me.
I am disappointed at the number of nipples that are not in this shot when the three of them are standing together.
Oh, I thought you just meant
Because only Robin's got nipples on his suit.
I thought you meant the people in the street. You want to see everyone's nips. They are
I
cold
want
after
everyone's
all.
nips. Well, they're good. Yeah, exactly. Their headlights are going to be on.
I want to see every actor's nipples, damn it.
I want a nipple count.
You want them to be in perfect and complete line. This, this is a straight line of nipples. And get Batgirl, give her a little boost there so she can get up to the same eye line as Clooney and everyone else. But
It's important.
But why doesn't Batman's suit have nipples and Robin's does? A bat is a mammal. A bird is not a mammal. It just seems even like aesthetically, physiologically, a bat would have nipples before a bird would.
that
I
is very
hadn't
true.
even considered that.
Maybe that's why everyone was complaining all those years. It's like, why does a bird have nipples? It doesn't make any sense.
This is stupid.
He should just have an egg hanging out of his ass. That'll make
This
perfect
is
sense.
ornithologically unsound.
I thought, yeah, it's weird that like whatever they did the same thing in Forever, where like he had the nipples on the suit and then he upgraded to that sonar suit, and then the crest, on his chest expanded so it kind of covered where the nipples would be. And then this is just the same suit. They just painted bits of it silver. So it's just like, yeah, I guess even when the city's at its coldest, somehow Batman's nipples are unaffected.
That's how masculine he is. He's like, my nipples don't get erect.
I think you can tell a lot about the mindset of the director when you look at the bat suit and what does it remind you of. If it reminds you of an action figure, well, there's that. But if it reminds you of like military grade ballistic armor, then okay, then your mindset's a different vibe than the one that's like, oh, we're just marketing for toys.
Yeah.
Because then we got the shot of everyone reacting to the good work. Alicia there looking like, I don't know, she's kind of got the vibe of like she's watching two people kissing or something.
Like oh
yeah, that kind of like they finally got. Oh, it's nice they got together. Yeah, it's like.
And then Chris O'Donnell's got a look on his face at second 29. Looks like, oh, he touched her boob.
Maybe that's what they're just like. Oh yeah, those people out there. That's what they were in the middle of doing that.
He's looking at the window upstairs, not on the street where everyone's. He's like, oh, I see what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, they had a telescope here. Oh damn it.
Now, I don't like the line that Batman says because he goes, "Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day," and I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, when is Batman optimistic?
Oh well, which is weird for Batman. But I'm sitting here watching it, thinking, won't these people just be sort of getting cooked to death in the streets? He's like bouncing directly the rays of the sun right at them and concentrating it.
Everyone got skin cancer.
Yeah. Out there too, there's people who were like frozen as in the middle of like getting murdered and stuff. Like someone was like about to get a knife plunged into them. Like, oh thank God. Oh no.
Like I could feel it the whole time. Oh, now I got cancer. Thanks, Batman. Or I should say Melano Man.
I don't know. I think the beautiful day thing, it brought to mind two things for me. Where I was just like, is this you two trying to get barging in again?
Yeah.
But like, oh, we were gonna have our spin-off single for this one, Beautiful Day, and Joel's like, no, we already got.
Oh, we have a deal for Batman Couture.
And then also I was just like, why doesn't he say it looks like it's gonna be one fine day? And I'm like, it's Clooney doing a little tie in there.
He should have. Why not?
And then like Chris O'Donnell going like, look at us, we're like the Three Musketeers over here. And then Batgirl will be like, you two are clueless, and I'll be like, and I'll be there going, and the rest of the world will be going, please kill us now, because these are of course all jokes that I've worked into past outros as well.
Hey, don't reveal how you operate, Niall.
Oh no, yeah, don't tell them how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
People will forget that you've
or
done
the hot
that.
dog.
Oh,
Batman there saying like, it looks like it's just gone from dusk to dawn. I kind of want to work in a Solaris one, but then it's like it's Solaris, it's not Solaris. So this is a thing I have. Anything to do with the satellites and the sun is like, there's got to be a Solaris joke in there somewhere, but tragically, no. I can't.
Work on it. Figure it out. You can get it. I believe in you.
Workshop it.
This is the last minutes of the sun, though.
You've got minutes of this recording left. Don't worry.
But yeah, so yeah, apparently it's going to be a beautiful day.
A beautiful day.
And then we got over then to someone we're always very happy to see. One Arnold Schwarzenegger lying there with his dick in the dirt.
Jesus. As of recording this morning, I saw an article about his son, not Patrick though, the one with the maid, and I was astonished how much he looks like his dad.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Chris Pratt and his son.
Oh God, oh no, we don't talk about him anymore. Mario over there.
I would rather have had Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mario.
Yep, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Arnold.
Right. As Arnold.
As Arnold. I meant
in the Mario movies.
I meant to say as Mario. I'm trying to think of 5 things at once here. So his son, he looked so much like him. No wonder they had to reveal what had happened. He's the spitting image of him to the point where he's recreated the scene from Terminator 2 where he goes and like steals the glasses and stuff.
Wow.
Because he just thought it'd be funny, and now he wants to be an actor. But he's actually like a realtor, as they call it over there. He sells mansions to rich people.
I think he probably would have got away with it in his childhood, but it'd be probably around now where the parents would be like, he looks an awful lot like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He literally has his smile. In fact, can I find a picture of him now? Well,
Unless like the baby was like, "Mommy," and just like just had the voice for whatever reason.
Wait a minute.
I'd like some milk, please.
Right, is this him? Joseph. Yeah.
Joseph Bana.
Well, because in the article they said, like, oh, why don't you call yourself Schwarzenegger? He's like, well, I've already got a surname, and it's good, and I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong with
I
that?
could call him Joseph.
Also, no one can spell his last name.
You could have called this guy Joseph Snow, because then that would be tying into the whole Game of Thrones. Like, well, the illegitimate child is always a Snow. And it would tie into Mr. Freeze, too. But
Exactly. I was thinking, are you trying to do a Mr. Freeze tie-in or a bastard
I was
tie-in?
working in both, George. I'm in
There you go.
doing double time.
Twofold.
In the chat, I've put a link to an article. You haven't got to read the article, but there's a picture of him next to a picture of Arnold at the top there.
Just like I said.
Yeah, it's just I googled that and saw that. It's like he looks a lot like him.
There's no mistake. He hasn't even got his smile there. When you see him smile, you're like, oh yeah, it's Arnold.
Like,
it's the same.
It is
smile.
proper. Like, I'm seeing double here. 4 Arnolds.
Does he have the tooth gap?
He doesn't, sadly. And that's the coolest
Used to
thing
get
about
that.
Arnold to me is that tooth cap. It's great. That's the one thing he's lacking.
Yeah. I know, though, George, you're, of course, big Arnie fan, because in between seasons of Mogwai Minute, even though Arnold has nothing to do with Gremlins, you and Neil
Yeah,
just
no
went
one,
and did a little...
apropos of anything, wanted that to happen, so we just did it anyway.
Yeah.
Is it literally just because you and Neil love Arnold?
I just like 80s movies, and it was actually Neil's idea to let's just cover 80s movies, and we're like, well, let's do 80s Arnie movies. I'm like, well, that's perfect. That's like 6 movies that we can knock out.
And we might steal your concept one of these days.
At least
Well, you can have it.
we'd have at least a legitimate claim of like, well, but Arnie's been in the movie.
And
It's
it's
got nothing
been
to do with Gremlins, man.
and it's been long enough since the Mogwai one. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. A minute.
It's
It's been a Mogwai minute. So yeah.
Well, what do you find to be the appeal of Arnie? Like,
I mean, he's charismatic for sure. He obviously overacts, and his line readings are suspect at times, and his accent is often impenetrable in certain phrases. But he's just a charismatic motherfucker.
Yeah. This is I did one of the things I love to do is always look into, because Arnie is the iconic for many roles, but I've looked into movies that Arnie was supposed to be in, but then passed on or was like rejected from, or all that kind of stuff. So we got a couple of ones. The Incredible Hulk, way back when, the television Incredible Hulk. Arnie was courted to be the titular Incredible Hulk. It was originally developed for Richard Kiel, who of course played, Jaws in the James Bond movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he ended up, not doing it. And then it came down because they felt that he wasn't buff enough. So what are we gonna do? You got to go for one of these Mr. Universe guys. So it came down to be between Arnie and Lou Ferrigno, and Lou's taller, so he got it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. This is a little bit. Arnie's like, he's big dude, but he's squat. He's
yeah.
and he's
Continuing their rivalry there.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, the thing is, then that could have been Lou. Like, I got him. I got one on
Finally.
that asshole. Finally, and that's like, yeah. But now he's like the biggest star in the world. And would he have been the biggest star in the world if he was the Incredible Hulk? Would that have?
Yeah, he spent a few years like on a lot, painted green,
Yeah, it might have been like, and then everyone would have been like, "Oh no, they're
running away to sad music.
But you never know. You can't predict. It could have been an even bigger show. Not to insult Lou.
Well, I mean, it's not like he had any lines, so that worked.
True. Yeah.
Of course, both of those guys go on to play Hercules down after this little debacle as well. So that's a weird coincidence. Of course, then also Arnie was courted when he was a big superstar for RoboCop, which is like a real like, thank God he didn't get that, because like, this is '87, so that's just like typecasting basically to be like, oh
Yeah,
you
just like let's just stick Arnold in this
He's
one.
a robot.
But apparently they were aggressively pursuing him. and then they said they did concept art of him, and he looked like, to do the suit in Arnie's proportions. They said he ended up looking like the Michelin Man. Like, he was just absolutely way, way, way too big. So they had to like find someone. I think they said exactly they wanted to find someone with a lower body mass and appealing lips. So
Though they found
Peter Weller obviously is the choice.
Yeah, they made the right choice. Again, he's all about the lips. It's
Yeah.
important when that's one of the only bits you see of a person.
And weirdly enough, Peter Weller would go on to play Batman, but in animated form. So they didn't even get to see. Now we feel like we gotta put him in a live action one just to see the lips, man. That's
Why
what got him RoboCop, for Christ's sake.
Is he still ticking?
Oh yeah, he's still going.
Peter Weller's out there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, the last time I saw him was in. Although to be fair, it is a while back now, but it was that Star Trek Into Darkness season that. And I remember at the time this, a lot of people might not get this at all, but like, Star Trek Into Darkness is the one that's essentially the remake of Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
The
Peter
bad
Weller's in there.
remake.
He's just like some general guy.
he is. I remember him from Dexter. That one season he was on. He had an arc in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's in Into Darkness as just like, I don't know if he's Carol Marcus's dad or something. He's just a star, Federation guy. And I remember thinking like they hired him because there's like Khan's right-hand man in Wrath of Khan. I always thought was Peter Weller. The guy looks exactly like him. And I always thought like behind the scenes there was some confusion. We're like, oh, we gotta get Peter Weller in for this. Just, we'll get that part somehow. And they're like, but that's not Peter Weller, right? Like, what? That's not Peter Weller? We'll just get him in anyway. It'll be a nice little joke for us or whatever. But
I love this headcanon.
yeah, but it's so weird. If you look at the guy who was always like, you are the superior to Khan and Wrath of Khan, that guy looks like identical to Peter Weller to me. But of course, yes, other Arnie projects that, not Arnie projects. You have infamous ones like Die Hard, of course, was developed initially as a sequel to The Detective with Frank Sinatra, then as a sequel to Commando for a little brief period of time.
Yeah. Now I want a Commando too. Well, I did. I don't anymore. But that would have completely changed Die Hard.
Would that be Commando?
Commando. Oh,
I
there you go.
kind of hope they don't ever touch it though, because it just leaves that lingering sequel tease at the end of Commando of like, you gotta get back with your unit, John. Like, no chance. That is just like, no, he just never did. Like, it's just that way he went off and lived with that woman that he just met, and she was, she's your new mother, Jenny.
That's my favorite thing. It's basically like,
And Alyssa Milano could come back and be a kick-ass commando lady.
oh yeah, Arnold gets kidnapped.
Ah.
There you go.
It's like take it in reverse.
Yeah. Because no offense to him, he's a bit older. He's a
he
bit
is.
slower. He gets taken. She's got to go and rescue him.
He's actually supposed to be in Full Metal Jacket.
Oh.
As Animal Mother, who I believe ended up being played by Adam Baldwin. Not the Baldwin who's not one of the Baldwins. The guy from Firefly.
Oh, yeah.
The non-Baldwin Baldwin.
And apparently Arnie was just...
Somehow everyone, though, with the Baldwin last name is a dick.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
And this is, I don't know whether it's just like, it's a cursed name or something. But yeah, so Animal Mother featured in Full Metal Jacket very briefly, although it's a Kubrick movie. There could have been like 4 hours worth of that character that he just
Animal Mother that just got cut.
Yeah. And I'm just fascinated by that one because like Arnie and Stanley Kubrick together at last. It's like, okay, well that's, and it's like, Arnie was like, oh, I would have done it. I was just busy with other things. It's like, so
Busy
Kubrick,
for Stanley Kubrick.
well, to be fair, Stanley Kubrick will be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna need you, but I could need you for like 3 straight years.
Oh,
Like,
well, that's a good point. Yeah, and you're not allowed to do anything else. You're going to come and live in the jungle with me or something.
I mean, like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman were stuck on that Eyes Wide Shut set for like the last chunk of the 90s. It's just like, I think I would be like, oh, if you can get me in for like a 2-scene part, then yeah, maybe. But
And all the sex was real.
infamously, of course, when Jim Cameron was going to do Spider-Man, Arnie was going to play not Spider-Man, although would watch.
But play him as a teenager still.
It's still time, Jim. They got de-aging technology. We can do it.
With great power comes great responsibility.
And he's going to class and stuff. How do you do, fellow kids?
It's you who's out, Goblin, out of your mind. But no, he's going to play Dr. Otto Octavius, which actually makes way more sense to me because I always remember like Doc Ock's supposed to be like either a German or like an Eastern European guy, and then Alfred Molina played him, and that's kind of what people associate now with the character. It's like, well, he's great and all, but like Arnie as Dr. Octopus makes more sense to me than
I could see
Alfred
that,
Molina
yeah.
did. But and of course then back Jim Carrey, back in '91 that would have been mega budget, and Arnie probably would have been the title, or not the title character, but he would have been like the focus of the poster and stuff. And you got like octopus puns in there. I ate Spider-Man. He's got 8 arms and
we missed out on this film.
Yeah. But you never know. Still good. Like, I guess Jim's still going, Arnie's still going. You could do it in animated form. Although Jim's probably
One day.
Jim's gonna die on Pandora. Let's face it. That guy, he's never coming back. Like it's
No.
Well, then he'll come back as a CGI character and keep directing after that.
Yeah.
I love there was an interview with him recently where he was saying that he's worried that maybe people aren't going to watch the sequels. Yeah, no, don't worry. There's no worry, Jim. We're not. We're not going to watch them. And I don't mind the first one. The first one's fine. I have no desire to see any more.
I'm trying to get in the mentality though. Like that guy has been proven right many times. So it could be that he just sees something. He knows something about these movies.
Maybe.
That no one else does. And it's like he's concentrating on it because the guy who brought you Terminator 2 and Titanic and like they brought you the Terminator in general.
Yeah, it's got
is
more
like,
hits than misses.
Yeah, he's
Off the
like
top of my head.
I know that this.
Oh,
is...
he's got a lot of misses too, because he's been married 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. I think it is 3, isn't it? Yeah.
It's because he's been concentrating too hard and making good movies, George. Of course, then
I can't raise my kids. I'm too busy being an auteur.
You don't understand my art.
But the big one, the final one for the roles that Arnie tragically never got was at one point Face Off was supposed to star him and Sylvester Stallone, and I love Face Off. I think it's a terrific movie, but there's no way it wouldn't have been 10 million times better if that was Arnie and Stallone finally putting to bed. Like, well, I think the Planet Hollywood had happened, so they're probably like, oh, we're already past it. But
Wait, Face Off?
Face Off, him and Arnie, Stallone, Arnie.
So that was
Face
the
Off.
original concept before it became Nicolas Cage and
Yeah.
John Travolta.
I think they went through like a bunch of people. I think they were into like it would have been like Seagal versus Van Damme. Like they're going through all the action hitters, and then they just got down the list far enough to be like Travolta and Cage. Like
So it just fell down to who got along best with the doves, right?
That's the test. Put them in a room of
Yeah.
doves and see what happens.
Yeah, like forget screen test with your coworkers. Do you freak out around doves? Everyone else on that list hates doves.
It's Arnie's audition. People just heard him going, "Ah, yeah!" All the doves flying at him.
That's the first question when they sit down. How are you with doves?
If you get that question to a job interview, I just say leave.
If people ask you, "Are you good with doves?" You say yes. But oh man, that would have been just phenomenal. Because Arnie and Stallone just trying to get like, well, how do you get around why they sound like they've got such distinctive voices and everything?
Yeah.
Those two guys went like, oh yeah, we had to give you like a vocal fitting to give you a weird Austrian accent, and then the other guys like, yeah, no, you talk like this, all of this. We had to
That
like
would
make
have
sure
been-
your lip drooped a little bit so that you would talk this way.
Comedy gold.
Oh,
And it's
man,
already a funny movie.
yeah. Oh man. But of course, though, talking about Arnie projects, other Arnie projects, he kind of weirdly evokes the spirit of one now as Batman approaches him with his, I'm going to take you back to Arkham Asylum, and it is, oh God, do it, kill me, like you did my wife.
Yeah.
And
We all thought the same thing, right?
What? My wife?
it's predicting Borat by a good 8 or 9
by
years.
a good several years.
To this day, I cannot hear someone say my wife without me thinking that in my head.
No.
Well, yeah, Borat planned it that way.
Arnie here, though, it really feels like, I think even in my head, I remembered him doing it more as like, come on, do it now, come on, kill me. To the, obviously evoking the Predator. Not the Predator, sorry.
Yeah, don't you
Predator.
ever bring that movie up.
I mean, he is laying down just like he was in the movie. I mean, it's almost like I feel like it's quite homagey.
I think that's what I was almost thinking. Like, is this actually supposed to be? Maybe he's got like an ice beam or something rigged above Batman, and he's trying to come on, do it, come on, walk in, do it now. Like, it's, the same way that he was trying to take out the Predator by luring him into a trap. This Freeze is just doing the same things. Like, yes, I got the a giant stalactite like right above you. Come on, do it, kill me.
It's definitely an homage because, as we see, Batman detonates himself with a nuclear device.
Well, those gauntlets carry more than just batarangs.
Yeah, gotta watch out for him.
It's gonna be great. Like, he takes off the Batman takes off the cowl. Like, you are one ugly motherfucker.
Oh, don't do our Clooney dirty like that.
Oh, he's fine. He knows he's like the handsomest man in the world. Come on.
I mean, he's no Paul Rudd, but okay.
And then so then we got a little. It's just one of those things like, I didn't kill your wife, Freeze. And then he whips out his phone.
Oh, this.
Because he clearly got got HBO Max on there. He's synced up.
Got 5G.
Yeah.
It's literally a shot from the movie that he plays.
Because at least when they did this once already, when they showed you like the security footage from Arkham. But at least they put like a black and white filter on that and made it look like, well, I guess that could have been a security cam footage.
This is just the film.
This is like, was this like, does Batgirl have a body cam?
Yeah.
That nobody knows about? But then,
yeah, Batman didn't tell her about that just for when she goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, he has to review the footage thoroughly.
But then, because she was looking at Batgirl, and then like the angles wouldn't match up though. So unless it was Batman himself has a body cam, and he was upside down tangled, and he's like, I better record this just in case.
Just imagine when he reaches over to her bathroom, like, hold on, I need this for a second. Just don't worry about it. I need this. It's cool. Just it's cool.
It's so just shoot from a different angle.
Yeah,
and it's fine.
Use some of the B-roll footage.
Yeah,
like you must have some. It's like, you got like for coverage we had a different angle, or like a behind the sets person had Ivy say that. Had Uma Thurman say that, but they were just standing with like a video camera. Just use that footage and be like, there you go. It looks a bit different now. But this looks like HD. It's like he's just literally synced up the movie on his phone. And he's like, there you go. And even that though as well, it's like, how long does he record for? Like,
all the time. He's like an American cop.
Well, that's the
but
thing.
Then
though,
it conveniently goes off.
Batman keeps his cam on.
Well, there you go. ACAB. All cops are Batman.
Oh! Well, that's what Gordon thinks in some of the comics we're reviewing. Gordon and his team think there's a group of Batmen.
Are they wearing hockey pads?
But yeah, even so at that though as well, he'd be like, okay, I didn't kill your wife. He's like, wait a minute. And he goes like, I gotta scroll through here. Just like hours of footage of him like, okay, this is
like toilet, shower, toilet.
And if it's anything
God,
like
you go to the bathroom a lot.
If it's anything like when you do stream a movie or a show, you'll jump too far forwards, but oh no, hold on, hang on, I've got to go back. Wait.
He just keeps smashing that 30-second button.
Yeah.
Although they just rearranged all those satellites too. It's like, oh no, it's all the Wi-Fi's down. Oh god damn it. It's like, oh,
hold on, it's buffering.
It's like, Batgirl, go and reconfigure those there to get my signal back up here.
And let me just put the subs on so you can understand. Hang on, because the speakers aren't good on this thing.
Yeah, but it's closed, the automatic closed caption, so it comes up with like like lady sleaze and stuff like this. It doesn't actually say what she says.
I love putting those on YouTube just for the hilarity of how wrong they are.
Yeah. And just always that mental image too of somebody. Like it's an actual person doing it, and someone's just sitting like flat out typing the whole thing all the time, like a stenographer, but nowhere near as good.
Stroke of the West.
Yeah. But yeah. So we got a little blast here of Uma Thurman there. They kind of missed her. She's been gone from the movie now for the last 15, 20 minutes or so. So it's nice to see her back again, even though it is footage that we've already seen of her.
Hey, I'll take it. Any Uma, give me your Uma.
But no, that's it. Then only other random tidbit I came across recently about Uma Thurman was that apparently the movie Notting Hill which is a movie I really hate. And I say this as a person who loves rom-coms. Like, absolutely adore rom-coms. The first film I watched this year was The Broken Hearts Gallery with
Now, okay. Do you hate it because of Hugh Grant, because of Julia Roberts, because of BC fans, or just because of the movie in general?
I just hate the movie in general. I like Hugh Grant in things. Like, some of his rom-coms aren't the best, but I like Hugh Grant. Julia Roberts, I have no beef with. But Richard Curtis wrote that. Guy created friggin' Mr. Bean and Blackadder. Phenomenal writer. I love, About Time, other movies that he's done. No beef with Richard Curtis. But whatever it is about Notting Hill, every joke is flat. There's no chemistry between those two. Julia Roberts looks as if she's sleepwalking through it. It's an awful movie.
Well,
I hate it every second.
I think my problem with it is just I don't want Hugh Grant in a movie. I don't want it. He's too posh. I don't want the world to think that's what England's like. Hugh Grant's world.
Wait, it's not?
No, England's a terrible place. It's awful.
Do you remember, like a couple of years after it came out, Noel Clarke, who of course is now very controversial in his own right, him coming out and saying, "I live in Notting Hill, and there's nowhere near the amount of white people." In Notting Hill.
No, that's the thing. Yeah, it's whitewashed. It's twee. It's just it's irritating.
Oh, it is. It's all of those things as well. But the reason I brought all that up though is because the movie Notting Hill apparently based on true events that Richard Curtis.
Batman Forever.
Yes, it's based entirely on Batman Forever. But no, it's Richard Curtis. Apparently, his friend picked up a Hollywood actress in 1994. Because people don't know the plotline of Notting Hill. Hugh Grant's a bookseller. Julia Roberts is a movie star. She comes into his bookshop, and they end up going out. And it's kind of this big thing because she's like the biggest star in the world, and he's just some nobody. And it's like, well, it's weird dating this huge celebrity and stuff. And apparently, in real life, Richard Curtis is his old Oxford chum. Met a young actress called Uma Thurman in Harrods in 1994, and then
in Harrods, how posh can you get? Damn it! Why couldn't it have been in a normal shop that normal people go to? Why couldn't it have been in the Asda?
Was she waiting for Mr. Bean to wrap a Christmas gift?
Well, Mr. Bean couldn't afford to shop in Harrods. No, it was much too upper crust for him.
God, he probably couldn't. It's that expensive. Jesus.
But the guy wears the same suit every day. He's like, I don't think Mr. Bean has money. Look at that car, man. I think he's rubbing the pennies together. But like Hugh Grant came out with this in recent years, where he was like, that was never a thing that was known. But apparently, he said that, like, Richard Curtis told him drunk one night that the whole script of Notting Hill is based on his friend's brief relationship with Uma Thurman when he was just some guy.
Okay, so now we're doing Notting Hill Minute, right?
Okay. I mean,
you have to fight Luke Allen for that because there's no one who's a bigger Richard Curtis fan than him.
I was going to say he's got to be the guest at least. Come on,
you a minimal leg wrestle.
But yeah, that would be 94. That's the year of Pulp Fiction. So that's like you would have been dating Mia Wallace as she's like literally on every bus, on every friggin' street corner will be that poster for Pulp Fiction. So
at least she was wearing a wig.
That's true. Yeah, they're like, this a completely different hair to that woman.
That was going to be my big question: was did she have the hair? But you've answered it.
Did she keep the wig?
Well, I mean, if she did, I don't want to be too sleazy, but from time to time, you might be like, could you put the wig on?
Wear the wig.
Just for me, just for tonight.
That wig feels like I should be in a Planet Hollywood. That's like such an iconic bit of like, the wig of.
Oh yeah, that Bob Bang combo.
Yeah, only she could pull that off. If anyone else had that hair, they'd look terrible. Except, I don't know, Japanese people seem to pull that hairdo off.
Well, the French do it very well as well.
The French. Yeah. Maybe I'm just thinking of English people, because we look terrible with any hair. That's why we're bald, so we look sexy.
It's the only way that Statham cracked it, Patrick Stewart cracked it.
Yeah.
Now we're all having to follow suit.
Mm-hmm.
But no, the only other note I had about this little bit was that way back at the start of last year when WandaVision came out, and everyone was going nuts for
that feels
Agatha
like about
all
6
along.
years ago now.
Yeah, but people remember that Agatha all along. It kind of became a meme, and I did one of Batman holding up the thing and saying it was Pamela all along. And I was very proud of it.
You.
And I got about
your last note on the thing is a thing that you did.
Yeah. I'm just drunk because I got about like 6 likes or something.
Well, because you hadn't told the story that you've just told. Now we know.
Yeah, there's no background. There's no heat.
Mm. But there it is. Yeah. So if anyone can now retrospectively go back and like that meme from like
Yep, go find
February
it.
of 2021 or whatever, I would be very, very appreciative of that.
Is it in the Bat Minute group?
Oh, it'll be in the Batman group.
Okay.
I did the whole thing of like I got the Munsters font and did it
Okay.
down the screen, and I was like, it was Pamela.
Well,
all along.
I'm going to go and like it retroactively.
Yeah. I think you might have liked it, John, because
Oh, I give a courtesy like half the time. Yeah.
yeah, it's like if John doesn't like your meme,
unlike it and
thumbs
then
up.
like it again.
I often give people a like just because it's like a thank you for participating.
Mm.
I appreciate that you've engaged.
There's days where I post things and you haven't liked them, John. I'm like, is something on? Like, are you sick? Or something?
That's probably I've had to actually go and do some work for one thing.
It's like something.
It's like that meme where like when you make a post and that one person who likes everything doesn't like it, you wonder if they're okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm usually okay, people. Thank you for thinking of me. But it's probably a rare occasion where I am actually doing something.
It's either that or it's like, oh my god, this must be like the most offensive thing. This is like now it's like I don't think John's ever going to speak to me again. Like, clearly this meme was so hated.
This is me you're talking to. I don't get offended. I got in trouble at work because I jokingly said I was going to stab someone. That was on Friday. I regret nothing.
But yeah, I mean that's all the notes I have for minute 114. Does anyone else have anything? Any parting shots they want to make at this baby?
No, it's like I said, it's just 60 seconds of reaction shots and then Arnold having an accusatory moment.
But that let us go off on our wonderful tangents, George.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they were great. They're great tangent springboards.
Well, and do you have any parting shots about the movie in general?
No, I've never watched it.
But because Batman and Robin so reviled as one of the worst films ever made, we're asking the guests this season, George, like what the worst film they've ever seen is. So I'm genuinely curious to see like what do you got? What you got for us here?
So I'm on that weird line where if it's a really bad movie, I enjoy like I think it's fun.
Same.
Like I'm a room troll to kind of like, oh, I'll watch these like ridiculously terrible movies and enjoy that. For me, a bad movie is a boring movie.
Mm.
And so that reason, most of the really bad movies I've seen are very forgettable. So I can go with the most recent bad movie I saw,
Yeah.
which was The Wrath of Man.
Oh man. I know.
Yeah.
I know Dave Pallison gonna be happy with you about that. George.
I don't listen. I love a heist movie. I love a Jason Statham movie. I like a Guy Ritchie movie. But when Guy Ritchie decides, you know what, I'm going to do action, but without comedy, and the heists are boring, and Jason Statham just scowls at the camera the whole time and shoots people, like literally, it's like 2 hours of like completely forget it. Like it looks like someone's doing a parody of like a Quentin Tarantino Guy Ritchie thing. Then I was like, oh shit, this is actually a Guy Ritchie movie. That's bad.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie does sway in. I remember, like, was it Rock and Roller? He tried, and that also had Statham, where he's like, I'm trying to do it, but it's artsy this time, and it's like,
For me, Jason Statham will always be Turkish because he is like Snatch. That was like one of the first places I really saw him in. I was like, oh yeah, he's awesome. And then he went on to become like Action Man. But like he was funny the first time I saw him.
yeah.
So he's always got that in my head. He's just been like, I have to poop and I can't. Like that's the face he's made for the last 20 years.
He can pull off funny still. I mean, you know,
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's great in The Italian Job.
and I mean, me and Niall are huge fans of Crank too.
Yeah,
That's a hilarious.
That's also very good. He's funny in Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
Like when he gets a chance to be funny, he can be. But when like he just like, I'm just gonna scout and shoot people and walk around and kick.
That's an easy payday for him, probably though. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't even have to be funny. I just turn up, be tough, and then leave and get my paycheck. Okay,
But
cool,
like
all right, fine.
the Meg 2 should have been easy payday. Something that like Guy Ritchie is doing should have had a lot more payoff to it. And as much as like this is all about stealing money, it did not have any payoff. It was most of it was flashbacks. It was ridiculous. It was very, very, very boring.
Well, I would expect like as soon as this episode airs, Dave's just gonna land in your inbox like a ton of bricks.
Bring
George.
So somehow it'll be
Bring
before
it.
it airs. He'll hear about it on the wind.
But yeah, but also because on the other side, Batman and Robin also beloved by certain segments of society. So we're also asking the guests if there's a movie that you love that's also regarded as being bad by like everybody else.
I unapologetically love Legend.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, Legend's great.
Are you talking about Tom Hardy, Cray Brothers legend, or Tom Cruise
no.
legend?
Tom Cruise, Mia Sarah, Tim fucking Curry in like the greatest devil suit of all time. Weird, badly dubbed dwarves and fairies and pixies, and it's the whole weird bullshit. I love it.
I love it.
I own the Blu-ray copy of that movie.
I think people just have a problem with it because it's just different to his other movies. Then it's like, oh, this is.
They didn't have anything really to go on because back in the day, that was like his third movie?
Yeah, third.
It was very early on in his career,
but it's nothing like the previous two or anything that follows, really. So people are
well,
like,
then I think
oh,
after that, the next one was like, it wasn't Top Gun. It was, but that was his risky business, all the right moves type era, and that was definitely different. But man, I love that. I love that movie.
It is very, because I know too. It also had like its issues in editing, and
it's kind of choppy, but it's super stylized. Ridley Scott directed it. It's a great movie.
Yeah. It's it was visually absolutely stunning as well.
Stunning.
That is like, and Tim Curry, that devil outfit is
so
insane.
good.
And I always had memories when I was a kid that they used. I don't know if it was Tim Curry himself, but that same suit I think was in an ad, like a British TV ad, which makes sense because that's where like both Scott brothers, Ridley and Tony, came from, doing adverts and stuff. So it would be like, I remember there was a guy going into a bank, and his banker was the devil.
Oh.
And it was a whole...
Like every banker ever.
I'm pretty sure it had that Let's Face the Music and Dance played during it. But I remember trying to look it up a while back. Like, was that the same friggin' suit? I couldn't find anything about it on Google like 3 or 4 years ago. So maybe I've completely imagined all of that. But I'm pretty sure that suit, and maybe even Tim Curry in the suit, were revived for an ad campaign. Over here, at least, several years later. So
either that or it was a dream.
Yeah. If it was a dream, I gotta go make that into a reality.
Yeah,
I think, quite frankly. Should also say too, in terms of projects that Arnie was supposed to be involved with that didn't end up happening. At one point, I Am Legend was going to be directed by Ridley Scott.
Yeah,
with
I remember
Arnold
that.
Schwarzenegger.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger starring. Of course, in the finished I Am Legend movie, you got the Batman versus Superman poster in the background, like a decade plus before that movie ended up happening.
And you get a totally different ending that butchers the story.
Yeah.
Completely changes everything it's about.
What am I, some kind of legend over here?
It's like, did they even read the book?
No. But yeah, we could have got that at some point. You could. I was the legend the whole time.
Yeah, that'd be the commentary track, wouldn't it? Arnold's famous explanation.
Yes, the irony is that you think that it turns out I am actually the legend of the story. But yeah, well, thanks very much for hopping on, George.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and we'll let you. I'm ready to wrap up.
Yes,
you guys
we
are.
will head out into the dark night. George, would you like to tell people where you can be found online, or your shows, or plug anything you want?
Well, Niall did a great job of doing that at the beginning, but I'll remind people, if you want to go back to my older stuff, I did the Mogwai Minute with Neil Brown for a couple of years, and all of that's out there, including our entire catalog of 80s Arnie movies in our hiatus, like Conan and Total Recall and Predator, not that Predator, stuff like that. So it's all in there. It's like a great time. We had a good time.
I'm
currently I am doing Elementary, my dears, with my friend Allison, and it is a episode by episode look at the CBS show Elementary. We've wrapped our first season. We're actually getting off here, going to record 2 hiatus episods. So got a couple of things ahead of me at this, but yeah, check it out. It's fun. It's a little bit more introspective and actually analyzing the plot. I mean, I make a lot of stupid jokes. She does all the analysis. I just talk things, but yeah, that's on Spotify. Everything's on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you can get it.
I gotta ask now. It's like, what the hiatus episodes? Was it like Trainspotting, Charlie's Angels? What are you doing? What's happening?
We are doing one's going to kind of be like a weird recap, and then the other we are looking at the animated series Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century.
Oh, okay.
There was exactly 1 season of that, and right now, if you want to watch it, you can find it on Tubi for free. We were going to just watch 1 episode. I watched 5, and I regret it. It's absolute garbage.
Oh, I was hoping it was great.
It is not. It is. is just as I mean, I'll talk about this on the show, but it's got like CGI comparable to Reboot.
Oh,
it's Sherlock Holmes is condescending and smarmy, and there's a female Lestrade, and he basically is about how you would expect a male to act towards a female who was like from the 1800s. It's a lot of problems going on.
okay. This
A lot of problems.
it does sound bad, but you're not allowed to insult our cultural figure of Sherlock Holmes. Only I can do that.
Well, you give it a watch, and you let me know if I'm off or dead on.
I expect you're dead on, sadly. Well, check all of that out, everybody. Maybe not the cartoon, but at least George talking about it, because it'll probably be out by the time you hear this. And do come and speak to us, as usual, on all the usual. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Can't be bothered going through all that. We will see you again for minute 115 of Bat Minute and Robin.
Next time, Holy Happy Hercules. A budding friendship built on thin ice finally cracks as a defrosted foe is informed his floral confederate is totally whack. Freeze grieves due to the deceptive temptress's true lies, but what resurrection revelation does the bat have as a surprise? She is risen on Monday, Batmites. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.
We'll be back.